Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to the Island Viper. Something a little bit different here today, and hopefully this will lead to more project videos that I make. But I have started working on, just for fun mostly, but 3D printing O-ring figures in 1/12 scale. So I started off with just kind of a test print for Cobra Commander. This figure comes in at just a little over 6 inches tall, and I've used the plastic printable, I guess like stand-in type rivets for the elbows and the shoulders. And he is fully articulated. The arms are a little bit loose, but I think I can take care of that with some size adjustments in printing, or with some a product like Kiki, the joint tightener, or something of the such. But I am going to make some of these figures and send them off to a good friend of mine who will do the paint work for them and apply the logos to the chests. I don't know which logo I'm going to have put on this Cobra Commander, probably just the regular Cobra logo. But I went to the local hardware store and found appropriately sized screws for the legs and for the back. I'm going to print the accessories, and I don't know how many of these I'm going to make. Probably, like, I really like the size. I think they're a pretty cool 6-inch figure. Especially since it brings out more of the vintage style detail in these figures. But these are actually made by a designer that I will link in the description. If you're a 3D printer, I can link you to his, I will provide the link to his files that are available for sale. And yeah, it's just a neat little project. So I'm going to go through the assembly of a Cobra Trooper that I also have. And if I had things to do over with this one, like I said, I'm just kind of figuring things out, but I found O-rings that fit as well. And yeah, I'm just kind of figuring stuff out as I go, and I'll make decisions as to what to do about rivets. I would like to find a metal rivet that would be appropriately sized for this figure, and someone had suggested using rivets available for 12-inch figures, and if I can find those without paying like $5 to $7 a piece for old stock, it would be great. I'll just have to do some searching in fastener companies and whatnot. But yeah, this guy turned out great. The plastic rivets are perfectly fine for right now. They will definitely need to be replaced at some point, because as you can see, you end up with a little bit of gap in there, and I want to take care of that. And I want these to look as nice as I possibly can get them. Some of the pieces are a little bit small to print 3.75 scale in FDM. They do work out well in resin printers, though. But yeah, just a neat little project I wanted to share, and I'm looking forward to having some fun with this. So let's get to the assembly. I already have all of the pieces printed for this figure, as well as the accessories. They're all cleaned up and ready to start assembling. First, I'll show you the accessories that come with the figure, the accessory files. You have the rifle here for the Trooper that's 3D printed. And it also included the bazooka, and that is also printed in 1/12 scale. They are all sized at 3.75 scale. You have the waist here, and I found a file and printed out a T-hook to fit it. And here you see, let me grab something to point with here. Here you see the small rivets for the shoulders and elbows. We can go ahead and start assembling the arms here. The left arm with the left arm joint. These are swivel arm figures. Now, some of this, it's not necessarily rough, but it's just where supports were. I've cleaned most of it up, And I'm going to, actually I'm just going to go ahead and put this in here. I may have to trim a little bit more off because that's the part that was on the build plate, and it puts a bit of a rim around it, around the little snap piece here. I'm trying to get that to show. But I run all of my prints at the highest resolution and detail that I possibly can, and there we go. I like to go for detail. So that piece is now assembled, and these are fairly sturdy. Let's see if we can push that in just a little bit more. Probably not gonna happen, but it's fine. It'll stay. Now for the upper arms, they go just like this. They assemble the exact same way that a normal O-ring figure would assemble. And be prepared to drop stuff a lot. So I'll get this all fitted together here. I actually glue the shoulders together. The portion where I add glue, that looks like a lot more than it is, but I apply glue here to this tab that sets into a recessed area of the other side, and a little bit just on the top of it. You don't want to get any down here because that's where the swivel arm joint is going to be. So just like this. Try to be careful not to get glue on your fingers and transfer it to the outside of the rest of the parts, because it'll leave a nasty looking spot. And as I hold this together with pressure, I'm just going to rotate this swivel arm joint so that it doesn't adhere, just in case there's something down there. And it should be good to go by now. Not quite perfect, but I can put a little bit more glue in that joint to kind of help it. Yeah, I don't want that to happen. If you do by some chance get a little bit of glue on the outside, don't worry too much about it. It can be scraped off. This is all going to need to be sprayed in a, I like to use a matte clear before you paint, or a primer if you prefer to use like an actual primer to paint with. I like using matte clear and then clear over the paint afterwards, but it's I don't do a lot of paint work. So, but there is this piece assembled, and next is going to be the shoulder, the disc. And all we're going to do for that is take your rivet and just kind of twist and push. And there we go. It's all the way through. Get the camera to focus on it. Yeah, all the way through. And that's your first arm assembled. And the other arm, you will assemble it the exact same way as this one. My fingers are kind of dry, so the parts will slip out of my fingers sometimes. Those are the only pieces that I glue. I don't glue together any of the rest of the figure, but as soon as I can pick this up and maybe, just maybe, stop dropping things, get this rest of the way put together. And just as the original figures were, legs go together the same way. We're going to kind of work this on and do a little bit of fitting, let the parts fit themselves together. And then of course we have the T-hook Just be careful not to break anything if you don't want to have to reprint it. And there we go. Now, the next question would be the screws that fit in here. I will add a link to the screws from Amazon that I'm going to be using. Like I said, I got these from the local hardware store, but Amazon is pretty much the way to go. My preference is to use the button head Allen screws. They're just little machine screws, and they're close to the size. So what I did was kind of let them thread themselves in, and I'm going to kind of do this to get it started off camera. This way it's not oversized to the point where it's going to cause the plastic to break, but they're big enough that they will thread in. They'll create their own threads, just kind of twist it back and forth a bit, and be careful not to over tighten. It would also probably help to heat the screws up just a little bit. You don't want to get them so hot that they're going to melt the plastic or anything, but because then you could risk stripping the screws out. You don't want to do that. They're a little bit tight, and if you're printing these, then if you break one, it's not like you can't just print another piece for it. They're not going to go all the way down into the recess area, but that's it. That's all you got to do right there, and they're good to go. They set down into the recess enough, and they're smooth, so they still look okay. There we have our assembled legs with the printed T-hook. The T-hook is something I may actually go back and print this in an ABS resin, just so that I have something, I think, a little bit stronger than FDM printed. It's not bad, but I would almost prefer something a little bit stronger. I haven't had one break, but I've only made a couple of them. Now, for the O-ring, I'm using the thin number 30 O-rings. I could probably use a thicker one, but I don't want to put too much stress on any of the body parts. So we'll just hook that in here, and let me reach around the camera stand here. And we'll thread that right up through the waist. There's plenty of room. You don't necessarily have to do it this way. But yeah, since I'm at an odd angle, I'm just going to put the waist on and then hook the O-ring. So a little bit easier, a lot easier than assembling a 3.75 figure, that's for sure. So I have the torso. The torso, of course, is printed in 2 pieces. And get that O-ring back on. It's hooked. There we go. Now, just like a 3.75, we'll put the, we might put the arms in. Yeah. There we go. 2. And of course the head. There we go. He is assembled except for the back screw. And the figure is fully assembled. His joints are actually a lot tighter than what Cobra Commander's were. You can see some of the white marks here where the plastic has rubbed, but that is, you can clean that up with a little bit of heat, and I'll show you here with this lighter real quick. Just a real quick touch, and it should clean right up for the most part. Yeah, so it's abrasively fitting itself to the figure. I'm sure if you moved these around a whole lot, you'd probably end up with loose joints, but a little bit of kiki or something, or nail polish would make quick work of that. So yeah, Cobra Trooper. He could probably benefit from that stronger, thicker O-ring, but I'm not going to disassemble him to put that O-ring in there. My mat that I work on is a little bit uneven, so he's not going to stand perfect necessarily. Not on that. There we go. So yeah, let me lower the camera a little bit here. And we'll get a height measurement on him. So he is coming in just over that 6-inch mark, about 6 1/8 inches tall. And he has the rocket launcher and the Dragunov sniper rifle, which these are all scaled up to fit him. And I'll get his, when I can do it without having to reach around the camera here in a second, I'll go ahead and put the rifle in his hand and see how it fits. And the rifle fits well, just as it should. And I'm going to have to look into making some figure stands for these guys. I might do the entire 82, 83 run. I would prefer to do the swivel arms. I might do the entire 82, 83 run in 6-inch scale just for myself because I like them. And if I do all of those just for myself, then I'll probably print them in color, which means that the web gear and the accessories on the figure, like the features on the figure, would be printed in color so that I don't have to paint them. Or I'll hand paint them and clear them and make them really nice custom pieces just to have in my collection. These are pretty cool, and I'm actually really happy with these. If they had been made like this back in the 80s, I still would have been 100% in. These are really cool in 6-inch scale, especially this piece here. Yeah, these figures, this is awesome in 6-inch scale, to me at least. I need to print Cobra Commander's Venom Blaster, but here they are together. Fantastic looking figures to me. Thanks for joining in. I hope that you enjoyed checking out this new project that I'm working on. And be sure to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, so you get notified whenever I post new content. I have not posted new content in a little while. I've been sick. I was sick for about 6 weeks with a pretty nasty sinus and double ear infection. Definitely did not feel like making any videos. And unfortunately, the day before my birthday, just a week and a day ago, a week and a few days ago, I've almost lost track of time over these last couple of weeks. But on December 12th, I picked up my daughter from my father's house, talked to him for a bit, and we left, came home. She, my kiddo, went down for a nap, and about 2 hours after I picked her up, I got the call that my father had been found unresponsive, and he did not make it. My father, who got me into G.I. Joe, he passed away on December 12th, and just haven't been much up to making videos. But I think that he would have thought these were really cool. He would have probably enjoyed checking these out with me. He was always looking into the stuff that I was printing, or asking me what I was printing today whenever he would come over, or we'd talk on the phone, and we talked every single day. And I miss him tremendously. But that's why I've not been on. So I was sick, and then I lost my father. So, but anyway, I hope that you all have a Merry Christmas. Today is Christmas Eve, and I'm going to do the best I can to have an awesome Christmas with my wife and my daughter and my stepmother, and we have another one on the way. Yes, we will be a family of 4 sometime this summer. We are looking at probably sometime in July, but yes, my wife is expecting, so very happy about that, and look forward to posting more content and being more engaged in the channel, as I should be. And we have a toy show coming up at the end of next month. I'll be doing some drone footage of that. We're going to do a fly-through of the show. I think some people will enjoy watching that. And throughout the show, I'm hoping to get some time to talk to a couple of people, including the showrunners and some of the other vendors, as I walk around and show the products that they have. I may try and go live on the channel and do a live broadcast during that 2 days that I'll be dealing with the show. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you again here soon.